what we call the Black Radical tradition. I self-identify myself as a new African revolutionary nationalist. And it's making it clear to a lot of people during the 60s and 70s, in the heat of our struggles, we weren't out there getting shot down by the pigs, being jailed, being repressed, being investigated, being exiled, being ran out of the country, just so our end goal was to elect some black president. I want you to understand that. All right? That ain't what we were fighting for. We weren't trying to replace one person because they happen to have a darker tan than another person who was still with the goddamn program that we're fighting. So I want people to be clear about that. Our goal was not to elect some black dude for president. We're a little more deeper than that. We just call that reactionary nationalism. Reactionary nationalism. So I want to be clear with that. We want to open it up for discussion. Any questions from any of the speakers? Questions? Where was Esteban? Esteban had questions.
In the 60s, I was with the National Committee to Combat Fascism, which was the defense group for the Panthers. And we had a lot of support. My question is, why does not today the Black Riders have that kind of outreach and support? You know, after all the changes and all the awareness posting, so much sensitivity, why are the riders still not getting much white support?
For right now, it's kind of hard reaching the people. It's kind of hard reaching. When we set out, we go out there and we look for support. But it's up to the people to come in. When we send out, right now we got a part called Black Rider Friends. We got a part called Elders to the Black Riders. It's for the elder people to come down. We have many things open, but we just gotta ask the people. It's the people that gotta come to the event, come to the meetings, or even support a show. We got websites, we got numbers, but it's up to the people now. It's up to you to decide that.
But also, I mean, think about the consciousness in Occupy when we first got started. A lot of people in Occupy didn't even know that there, or recognize that there were issues with the police, because in their community, there never was an issue. All right, now the Black Riders come out of a totally different environmental situation where police brutality is an everyday reality. Shootings, beatings, illegal search and seizure, all this stuff that goes on constantly. Now, a lot of people in Occupy now are much more open to these questions than they were 4 or 5 months ago, because their own experience have taught them something about how the police operate on a broad scale, and the fact that they're not always great respecters of people's human rights. Okay, but that was a process. I mean, a lot of us came into Occupy knowing that, but others of us, many of us, did not know that. Now, when you look at that being the kind of gap between people who are actually politically conscious as versus the population as a whole, that begins to outline how big the problem is. And that is part of the problem. I think that was what Michael was talking about when he talked about the fact that a lot of people who came out of the 60s, on the white left in particular, stepped back from a lot of these struggles. They kind of got frustrated with trying to struggle to change things and kind of, you know, settled with the system. And so some of that linkage where you had conscious people who were doing that kind of work. Michael does this work all the time, okay? But he's one individual. I mean, and there are others who I know, okay, in this town and around the country who likewise do serious anti-racist work, but it is not a large enough group. We need groups like the Occupy movement to be conscious and to spread that consciousness, and that will solve the problem.
Can I say two quick answers to that? Is we did mention they have what's called Friends of the Black Riders, and I would invite people to get involved with that, which would be material aid and defense work. The other thing is that the Jericho Amnesty movement is an international formation. There are European, Puerto Rican, Muslim, Arab, Native American, all kinds of people in that organization to free all political prisoners. And you know, you're welcome to join the LA chapter at any time you'd like to.
Tell us what that website is that people can contact.
The website is www.Black Riders Liberation, and it's on YouTube.
Black Riders Liberation.
Group.
I was just going to make a suggestion that I will get all this information from Michael later and then put it up on the Los Angeles GA website and get it to media people so that everybody can get it. Does that sound good?
Sure.
Yep.
Question. Escobar, you had a question?
Not really a question. I was just hoping that you touched upon it earlier. You touched upon it earlier about Marcus Garvey and the history of the UNIA, and what that had, or what effect that had on this movement as a whole, Black liberation. And all that.
Historically, when African prisoners of war were brought to the United States, there's a history of resistance, organized resistance. They use terms like slave rebellion, maroon uprising. I give an example how Africans sided with the British against the U.S. settler colonialists because they offered freedom. And in the 1914s, a Jamaican brother named Marcus Mosiah Garvey, as with Che Guevara, started traveling throughout Central and South America, came to New York, and was shocked at the conditions he observed of African people throughout the Central and South America and the States. No different than Che Guevara, but his famous motorcycle journey. And he came back and realized that, in fact, this crisis can only be addressed by organization. Now, before Marcus Mosiah Garvey, there was serious organizations. There's been a historical legacy. When he began organizing Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League, which had chapters all over Africa, the Caribbean, Central and South America, and in Europe. In fact, in Costa Rica, when I was there, they have an active chapter there. There's an active chapter in Los Angeles. It was a mass movement. They had a registered nurse corps. They had a quota corps. They had manufacturing. They had shipping. And their objective was, number one, the question of Africans setting up and repatriating back to Mother Africa. Because the view was the fact that you cannot gain liberation in the European settler colony because we're a national minority. Okay? If you look at the leadership within the Nation of Islam, if you look at the leadership in most major organizations today, they are heavily influenced by the UNIA and African Communities League. The notion of black dolls, black power, black is beautiful, black whatever, came out of that movement. Okay? I can go in more detail, but I'm sure there's other questions. But bottom line is that when you hear groups say they're Afrocentric or Pan-Africanist or Kwanzaa or whatever, that's a building on that tradition, which basically argues that once we were brought from Mother Africa to here, our cultural, historical, and nationalistic or anti-imperialist legacy continued on. It takes many forms. In the Black Panther Party, there was a Marxist overlay, but fundamentally the Black Panther Party was about revolutionary black nationalism. In certain wings like New York, LA, moved into the Pan-African directions. Others moved other ways, anarchism and so forth. So there's always that trend. Now, I'm not saying that's the only trend in our community, because we got the Democratic Party trend, we got a black Marxist trend, we got a black nationalist trend, we got a black integrationist trend. We have many different trends, but that is a dynamic movement that fundamentally is anti-imperialist and fighting to keep the United States from the reconquest, the recolonization of Africa, which you see in Uganda, which you see in Somalia, with the demonification of Mugabe in Zimbabwe, same in Sudan. They were victorious in Cote d'Ivoire with the motherfucking French invading and killing our youth. And of course in Tripoli, Libya, which was the most advanced, the highest quality of life by all UNESCO social indicators is in Libya, the highest. Yet they attacked their government. And today, just in Benghazi alone, there's over 250 militias, which are just a gangbanging going on in just one city, Benghazi, not in the whole of Libya. Anyway, I'll pass on that.
I just want to say in response to your question, Marcus Garvey was attacked by J. Edgar Hoover.
Yeah.
And J. Edgar Hoover was the person, well, there was other things. There was the Palmer raids where they raided a lot of communists and also. But Marcus Garvey was one of the people who was attacked, and his movement was destroyed by J. Edgar Hoover. And that was a model for the COINTEL program in the 60s, where they assassinated King and Malcolm and Fred Hampton.
Was it mail fraud they got for us?
And one of the things I didn't talk about, the other brother talked about was Geronimo. There was also another brother named Deruba, who was held captive for over 20 years, and the FBI and the police knew all the time that he was innocent of all charges. But Marcus Garvey was the president for the COINTEL program.
Question. Question.
The brother has his hand up there.
Oh.
Just generally, not really a question, I guess more a discussion. Can you guys talk about how Because I know we go back and forth with Occupy a lot. Everybody thinks, oh, we should do this, we should do that. There's a lot of discussion about the direction of the movement, and a lot of it I feel is sort of premature, considering how young Occupy is. Like it's 4 months long. And I wondered if you had any type of perspective about like any type of direction clashes, like between organizations or within organizations, and how they were effectively resolved or made to not hurt the movement as a whole.
The major point is to try to get the organization to help out one another. If you only have a little bit and we only have a little bit, if I'm going to stand over here and move this organization and we don't got no help, then they're not going to do nothing anyway. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to come together as a unity right now. Occupy LA, Black Riders, we all in the same movement. We all want to free the prisoners. We all want liberation. So we focusing on that's what I was focusing on. So we should come together as one. Without the unity, we'll fall. It's like a domino. One domino, everything else gonna triple. Yeah. So the thing of it is, we coming together because this is what happened. When they hit Oakland, they badgered Oakland, right? They hit New York also. That was when they was at on Wall Street. They dominated Oakland and New York. The only reason that LA wasn't hit is because of signature. See what I'm saying? They're trying to keep that sort of movement from combining together. If you notice, it's always look. It's the main cities that's always hit. Anything big coming, Oakland gets hit, LA gets hit, and New York gets hit. That's why all this stuff is happening. If you think about it, let's look at the history. Not get off the subject, but look at the rappers that came together. They once was a power. You understand what I'm saying? But all this money and all this other extra made it where they separated. And then once again, LA, New York. Look at look at how they keep on bringing different sources of stuff in. And if you really want to know, there's a thing that was voted on that nobody know about, okay? It's called necessity. The government and the president voted on a special vote to control national employment and security, and it was in 2000. But it implemented now, it got large now when Obama came in. So there's stuff that y'all not even thinking about and being aware of. So, your question is, brother, we have to unite. It doesn't matter if you're Jamaican, he's white, or he's black. We all suffer the same cause.
Yeah.
No job. What, you being told when to come in the house? What, as soon as you walk out the block, some of us get picked as soon as we walk down the street. Or they see us so they pick us. If we don't know our rights, how can we stand as one?
Any questions?
Can I make my question in the form of a comment?
Yes. Yeah, my friend.
Actually, I don't think I should say anything except to ask for your permission that I should invite our sister there from the Occupy movement. Sister, please.
Yeah.
If I have your consensus, maybe the sister should speak.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I just tweeted, where are the women at?
Thank you. We need more
There were
women.
women invited,
It's
didn't
always
make
been
it.
a struggle for the women, especially the black women. It has been a great struggle. I've watched these. I was a little kid watching these guys come up in their struggle. I watched their fight. I watched them stand. I watched them take bullets so I could stand here today. I watched them make a way so I could eat. I seen what they've done. I know what we have to do too. And I know it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy for us to come together. I know it's not going to be easy for a lot of white people to stop your heart from skipping a beat every time you see me walk in a room. But think about it. When your heart skips a beat and I'm in the room, remember that's deep psychological training. That's nothing natural because I've done nothing to harm anybody. So we must come together. It's the only way we're going to win. If we're going to fuck their heads up before they finish fucking us up, we better come together or we fucked. That's for damn sure.
We're women revolutionaries. We're gonna wrap it up because we have to program.
She wants to talk.
I didn't have my
Okay, come on.
I do have a question. What is your standing about this year's election?
About what?
Your standing in this year's election.
My understanding?
No, what do you
Stand.
Whether we
Stand.
stand? Yes.
Right? I don't think none of us care.
I'm not going to receive my liberation through a ballot box.
Yes!
Malcolm X said the ballot or the bullet. So the jury's still out on that for me.
I just wanted to let people know we did invite several women here who could not come for one reason or another. Tani Chimarenga did not make it, and there was a sister from the Black Riders who also had to stay behind. Just to let people know that there were many, many women in the Black Panther Party, and there were many, many women in the Black Riders Liberation Party. The Chief of Staff is a woman, and many other leading members of their central committee are women. So just so you know. The other thing about unity is that they have united Crips and Bloods. They've united street tribes with college people, and very unique and to be studied.
Is there a question about women in the Black Panther Party? I have big differences with a lot of people about that question because, Mao Zedong had this thing about that in China, the women held up half the sky. Well, in the Black Panther Party, women held up 95% of the sky. And most of the work that was done, and most of the papers that was sold was done by women.
It always is. Sorry.
And,
It always has been.
And I'm currently working with former Black Panther who was the editor of the Black Panther Party, Jonina Abrams. She's in Memphis right now, and we're working together creating a Black Liberation Museum. So he's right. If it wasn't for the sisters, it wouldn't be us. So, and just to get back, we close out with this unity thing, is that, remember what Martin Luther King said? He said, we may all have came to America in different ships, but we're all in the same boat now.
And when she left, the stick fell apart.
Ruby Doris Smith.
And
She
so,
died.
and Angela Davis said, well, we're witnesses with the Occupy movement, but we have a lot of the newly poor, very young people been disillusioned by the system. People have lost their homes. People lost their jobs. And things they're going through now, we've been going through. Wall Street deserted my people years ago. Matter of fact, Wall Street was built on the slave trade. So we know about Wall Street. But Angela Davis said, if you let them come for you in the morning, if you let them come for us in the morning, they'll be coming for us in the evening. For you in the evening. So think about that in unity. So speaking of unity, we'll close it out. And we always like to close it out with a sense of unity through an expression of unity. So I can get everybody to stand up. Oh yeah, baby. Raise your fist. Yeah. All power to the people.
All power to the people.
All power to all the people.
All power to all the people.
All power to brown people.
All power to brown people.
All power to red people.
All power to red people.
All power to black people.
All power to black people.
All power to yellow people.
All power to yellow people.
All power to white. Oh, y'all got some power.
Mike Peak, if you see me on Facebook.
Hey, Beth. How's it going?
Freezing. How are you? I went to first half of medic training today. It was very exciting. We got to learn how to perform CPR.
So you can save my ass,
I
thank
can
you.
save your ass.
Yes.
I'm not certified till the end of tomorrow, though. But yes, I can save your ass and I can defibrillate.
I'll try not to die yet.
And you know what was funny? When we were here, Patricia was told that she couldn't use the AED machine, the automatic defibrillator, in there for us if things needed. So she went to those people's box and got them in trouble. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
So we did basic first aid, all that kind of stuff, wound care, all the simple stuff today. Tomorrow we do a couple more. We test on our things and we talk about tear gas.
Awesome.
Totally worth it. I won't be on social media because of it. At least I'll be another, certified.
I've been streaming all day.
Yeah. Anything good?
I was Kelsey at LA Crisis in Education Conference.
How was that?
I don't know, it was okay. I mean, I just wasn't into it. Yeah.
It wasn't a protest, it was kind of boring.
Well, I mean, not that it was boring. I mean, there was the second workshop I went to was part of the Inside Job film was shown.
Okay.
And they showed how education is influenced by corporations. So that was interesting, but I just didn't learn anything new, and I spent the whole day there.
I didn't learn much new here, but it was awesome anyway. That's why I had to say where the women, because I actually tweeted where the women at, because that's how I learned about the Black Panthers and African American studies in general. Was my friend's mom and the kids.
Awesome.
She took us to the city to meet old school Panthers, men and women. Talked about magazines, printing presses, shit.
I think we should have an anarchy GA.
We should. We can throw it.
Well, I can't because I don't even know what it is, but
you can help.
I want to learn.
Off of 5th and Main.
Saturday, 21st.
Saturday this morning.
We are occupying Main Street.
We are occupying Main Street. I thought we were coming on the 24th.
Oh, check this out.
On the 24th.
Yeah.
We're going to have Robin Line Main Street. And then on the 25th, we're having a General Assembly on Skid Row. Between the 5th and the 4th, on the town.
Ryan's such a hippie. Look at his hair.
Brian has nice hair. Too bad nobody at home can see what's going on. There's beautiful people here.
When? Oh, you haven't been around. A couple weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Some people still see me and are like, "Who are you?"
I like it.
I still look for the blonde hair.
The blonde hair sticks out too much.
Yeah, especially if you're in Italy. If you go to Italy with blonde hair, then you'll never get any peace.
Well, especially when you're poor and you're wandering around places where blonde hair, in neighborhoods that blonde hair definitely sticks out.
Yeah.
Carol's going to the beach. Oh, man.
Sometimes I watch GAs from other estates online, and I'm like, they're inside.
So do you want to go to the art show in Santa Monica? There's an open bar.
Until like how they...
I really think that in the springtime, all the occupations are going to come back.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just the cold.
The cold's keeping a lot of people away. In New Haven, Connecticut, they're still occupying.
I know we're coming back in East Riverside. We already have the plans today.
Well, it's worth it to take it down for a little while and then come back bigger, stronger.
How many people?
We kept it up for a month, though, with some of the most freezing nights out there in the desert. I'm pretty impressed that we did that. It's all about cuddle puddles.
Cuddle buddies? What?
Cuddle puddles. Bodies all hugging together.
Aww.
To deal with the cold.
So who else is going?
As just said,
I
on
don't
Big
know.
Love. I
You
don't
could
know how
probably
people
fit like
with only one partner do it.
who's going with you?
It's only one side.
Because someone else asked me
I don't know.
if I was going. I forgot. Jeff.
Talking about
Jeff wants to go. Who else?
I don't know.
She said
I might be able to put like.
Oh,
three-
nice. Yay!
Is it a magnet?
Yes. That's very cool. I like it.
That's nice graphics.
I need
Too bad we can't see.
I need this graphic. Can you email it? Can you email this to me? I'll put it on the site. Because I'm looking for stuff to start putting on the site to link to the page. You have more stuff on the page?
Yeah.
On the Facebook page.
And on MyNeighborhood.org.
I haven't looked in a couple days, honestly.
Gallery, and there's tons of stuff there too.
Honestly, since I've been back from Oakland, I've been slacking on the website, and everybody else has been doing stuff. All I do is bust spam and occasionally like move stories around. I just have not been doing it.
There's a lot to do.
There's a lot to do, and there's a lot of us who do shit, and I told everybody else that either they started doing shit or I was leaving and not making any fucking speaking.
Who else is going to that show?
everybody.
Okay, I can take you and Beth and maybe one other person.
Because at meetings, everyone's so gung-ho, and then I'm talking about for any organization. At meetings, they're gung-ho, and then right after the meeting.
Well, my whole theory on shit is less talk, more action. So you talk about doing something, you go do it, you come back, you report back.
Indeed.
You don't talk about the same thing for fucking 6 months straight.
Is everyone
So
Who's talking?
that's why I stopped going to media team meetings. Most of all the media from the website is all independent people. Like there's like 1 or 2 people in the media team. But,
Damn, we can't see anything.
you know, just because I can rely on you.
So what are the people doing in the media team?
Now they're starting to pull shit together. I mean, the problem is we had a hold up with editing, and when one person is in charge of all the editors and all the editors leave and nothing ever gets done, it kind of shows you what really happened. And that person's no longer a part of the media team as far as I'm aware, at least on probation at this point.
It appears to me though that I just joined the media team 2 weeks ago, and it looks like they're getting their shit together.
See, the thing is, certain arms of media have always had their shit together. Like, I'm one of the live streamers, so I've always had my shit together as far as live stream, until the raid when they took the cart away, and then I can still broadcast from home, but nobody really wants to watch me at home. You know? I mean, when I did my web show, and it was like my web show, like I felt cool doing that, but like, since the occupation's been over, I only really turn the camera on when I have other occupiers around, or I pull everybody else's stream in, like I always did before. I suggested we get a camera phone and a battery backup on October 16th, and they told me that was stupid. So now I'm trying to now our streamers don't want to cover the events unless, you know, they can, you know, get covered for it. I don't really care, I'm at them anyway. So I'm trying to get they want their gas money covered at the very least.
Come on.
You know, not her. She's here. She's always been a
But
volunteer.
I have enough money right now. There will be a time when I won't have money, and then what?
I just didn't even know we had that kind of funds. I didn't know we